Morning.
Morning.
Please can you introduce yourself to our readers?
My name is LISTER NUKU. I am one of the founding partners of NUKU Incorporated. I am also the chairperson of the Black Lawyers Association Western Cape branch.
Thank you. Can you please take us through your career journey from the time you finished studying?
I finished my BProc degree in 1992, after which I spent a year sitting at home. I then commenced with my articles in 1993 at the law firm in NUKU, Eastern Cape. And while still there, my boss advised me to go to the school for legal practice, as he had realized that this practice would not enable me to be ready to write the attorney's admission exams. I came to the University of Cape Town to the School for Legal Practice, where I did a 5-month practical legal training course. After that, I then got articles in Cape Town. I abandoned my initial articles. I commenced with my articles in 1995, completed in the beginning of 1996, but after I relocated back to the Eastern Cape to work as a professional assistant, where I spent about 6 months, and then I came back to Cape Town to work for another law firm, still in the position as a professional assistant. That was 96 October until January 1999, where I then went back again to the Eastern Cape, still in the same position but another company. Then in 1999, November, I then met up with my co-director, who at that time had another partner. They had a partnership, so it was a 3-month practice which had just been established. 15 days down the line, we decided to split, and I started with my partner. In 2005, we converted the partnership into the company that it is. So that's my journey.
Great, thank you. And why did you choose this career path? Why law?
Look, law for me is something that appealed to me at a very early stage. Mainly it was through hearing about mainly criminal cases, because that is the kind of lawyering that one would be exposed to. And so I thought that was something that I could do. That is what appealed to me at that time, to become a criminal lawyer, to represent the people in pursuit of justice. Because you would have instances where someone is accused and when he has not done something wrong. So that is what appealed to me.
Thank you. And what challenges did you encounter as a young professional in Cape Town as you climbed the corporate ladder?
Cape Town is a bit of a difficult environment. You will have seen from my career movement that whereas I had done my articles here, I did not immediately after that start working here. I went back to the Eastern Cape, where it was a bit easier to get employment because you have family connections, it's familiar territory. I came to Cape Town for the first time in 1994 when I went to the school for legal practice. So I knew nobody in Cape Town. I was still young, and that was a bit of a challenge. Because in the nature of things, if you are a lawyer, people come to you because they trust you, they know you. But being a young attorney who is unknown, it is difficult to have that kind of trust in people. You build it over the time. So those are the challenges. So that is the nature of what one has to deal with. And then you come to Cape Town, you come from the rural areas, it's a bit, you have to work on your mindset. And so it was not easy. It was not easy in Cape Town. I think we survived because mainly at that stage, the Legal Aid South Africa used to have what they call judicare system, where they would allocate criminal cases to lawyers who would register with them on their database. That gave us a start, that then exposed us to the market, and we built from there.
Great. Your opinion on gender balance in the law fraternity?
As the matters currently stand, I think the female lawyers are underrepresented. I think that is for historical reasons. So there's still a long way to go. But I have had some facts from the universities which seem to suggest that the intake of universities is more admitting female students. But that has not filtered through to the profession because as matters stand, males tend to be more than dominate more than females.
Thank you. There's an ongoing debate currently on the time period that law students take to complete their studies. Some people think 4 years is really not good enough, while others feel it should be extended to 5 years. What's your take on that?
Look, I must first say that I'm a product of a 4-year BProc degree. It was then an undergraduate degree. That stage, the LLB was a postgraduate degree. You would either do a BUris or a BProc degree, which is a junior degree, and do the LLB as a senior degree. But then that has changed. The LLB is no longer a postgraduate degree. It's a junior degree, which is 4 years old, which is 4 years in duration. Now, I think back to my law degree, and I cannot find any fault with it. I am able to apply my trade. I qualified as an attorney, I qualified as a conveyancer, I qualified as a notary public with that 4-year BProc degree. I think the focus should not be more on the LLB degree, but should be on the education in general. Because to me, I think the problem is deeper than at the level of the university. Because you would hear sometimes that you have kids that are in grade 6 that cannot count, that are struggling with literacy. So that is where the problem may be. It's not necessarily the degree itself. Because the law is structured such that it teaches you where to find law, the ability to research. So the years that you, the 5 or the 4 years should not really make a difference, because it also continues, training continues beyond the degree. So I think the 4 years is fine, but then there may be a problem with the education system itself before you get to the LLB degree.
Thank you. What is BLA, Black Lawyers Association? What is it all about, and when did you join?
The Black Lawyers Association, I'm told, was formed around the year 1977. Before 1994, in South Africa, there was a law which prescribed who can do business where, and in terms of that, the black lawyers could not have offices in city centers. They could only be in the designated areas which were away from the lucrative areas of work. It was in response to that that the lawyers, mainly in Gauteng, got together in order to deal with that. And then it sprang from there, and then it became a national organization which focused more on the issues that had to do with the plight of the black lawyers. And then from there it extended to include assistance to the community, because much as lawyers have to look after themselves, their primary goal should be to serve the interests of the community. So that's the background of the BLA, and I joined the BLA around 2001 when I was already a partner in this law firm. And I must say that before that, my interaction with the BLA was when I was at the School for Legal Practice in 1996. I came here, I had an arrangement with my principal that he was going to pay for my tuition. He, for some reason, was unable to do that. And the Black Lawyers Association at that stage had some funding which they had secured for students to be able to fund them through the School for Legal Practice. So I benefited from that, and I thought it logical that I should also be part of the organization so that I can see how I can also contribute. So that's my story in the BLA.
Great. I believe you're the chairperson for BLA. How did that come about? Were you elected?
Yes, I was elected around November last year. I have served in various other capacities, but last year I was elected as the chairperson. I also, at the nomination of the BLA, served as a councillor of the Cape Law Society. as well as the Councillor of the Law Society of South Africa.
Thank you. What do you think makes an individual exceptional?
That's a very difficult question, but for me, I think what makes a person exceptional is when someone is true to himself, when you're true to yourself, when you do something because of conviction, and when you do it, you make sure that you do it well. I normally say to my candidate attorneys, we have a lot of matters that we deal with, but when you have one matter, which is before you, you do that as if that is the only file that you have. That thing for me would make for exceptional.
Thank you. Are you married?
I am married, yes. I am married. I have 2 kids with my wife, but before I married, I got 2 kids, so I have 4 kids in total. 2 with my wife and then 2 before I got married.
Thank you. How then do you balance work and family life?
Life is a bit of a struggle, but I keep working on it. There are demands sometimes. We spend long hours, but I have a wife that understands. My kids have also grown to understand that I have to work, but when I have time with them, I make sure that it's quality time. I tend to focus on quality time with my family, so that whenever I'm away, they know that it's for a reason.
Thank you. Lastly, what words would you like to leave with our readers? What would you say to, say, young aspiring professionals or students or anyone else out there for that matter?
Look, I would say that to each and every person, he or she has a future in his hand or her hand. It's possible. You just have to look out for the opportunities and you must seize them when they come.
Great. Thank you very much.